Here we go. Here we go. Kicking it off on this Wednesday. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. Another busy day at the Combine. Thanks for hopping in. Hopefully you get a chance. If you're definitely wanting to check out some streams, check out our talk that we had at Crunch Time Sports earlier today. But now we have more of an opportunity. Crunch Time is not airing at 8 o'clock. Their show has already ran. I was a guest on it, and we recapped what happened today. Busy day at the Combine. Everyone understood that it was a day for linebackers, defensive tackles, and the position that you guys all want to talk about, defensive ends. We'll talk about it. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell talked on Sirius and on the Rich Eisen show. Mishanuga gets in a foreign language, but let's try it. Dios bendiga el médico. Yo soy tequila. Yo quiero nachos. Definitely hungry too. Big day. Hungry for a great broadcast. Hungry. Who knows? You got me thinking I set the settings wrong. But, today's my last day at the Combine. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, driving back to Detroit. Make sure you follow Emmett Matusovsky, and I'll post his work as well. He's also representing Lions on SI, doing great work. He's going to stay and continue his great work to let you guys know. We have a tracker live. You can find out each and every reported visit. How do we find out? We ask the players. That's how you find out. We don't assume that every player meets with every team. Some players, like Michigan's Benny, did not meet with the Lions. Well, why? They've already met with them. But that is information. That is one of the things we don't do. We don't just assume. 319 players. We don't assume that in the course of a couple days they're going to meet with everybody. So we have a tracker, and we have a list of those that have been seen on an informal and formal basis. That's why you ask those questions. I don't think it's a bad question at all. Did you meet with the Lions? Yes or no? Hope everyone's having a good night. Get your comments in. What's your reaction to what you've read so far about the defensive ends? I will give you my list of players that I felt I was impressed with. There was nobody that spoke that really, said, that made me feel like they're off the board. But, our Mason Thomas kind of did talk about when you looked at it, he kind of said, I'm a speed guy based on his size. And I just think that the Lions are looking for big defensive ends who fit their scheme. And so we'll try to talk about as many fits as possible in regards to, and then a quick preview at the end regarding the cornerbacks. I think they're talking tomorrow. And so I think a lot of the defensive linemen showcased a lot of interesting discussions in regards to their personality, how they feel like they did. And I think 4 defensive linemen really impressed a lot of people. Oh, my goodness. I messed up the chat. Doctor, those chats no functioning in English. Oh. Problemo, right? That's funny. How on earth in an American stream would a setting ever hit to Spanish? Well, more of me. That's funny if I did that. And that's funny if you try to put in Spanish how to put it back. That is funny. Let's see. What have I done? TM, what's going on? Is this true that I have derailed the comments with the setting? Hola to you. Have I derailed the comments so that they don't show up in English? Or is Nuga having a good time? But I do want to get to a couple things here. It's YouTube streamed. That's funny. Oh my goodness, the comments are showing up in a foreign language. Well, that makes it fun. I do enjoy talking to you guys. Well, I'll shout you out. Brent DeWitt's in here, Nuga's in here, TM Martin. That is funny. I have to check my phone. That is funny. YouTube is having comment problems on their own where the comments are not in English. That is funny. Let me do a quick. That is funny to me. YouTube stream chat issues. That is classic to see that. Anakin is reflective of all of us. What? Comments are wrong. Well, keep spamming the chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down. You can type in names, and I'll give you my thoughts on the players. Because that's really the gist of it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Right? Or do that. So give me a thumbs up. You're saying this is just a YouTube issue across the board. Did this happen to other streamers where the comments were in a different language, or did I do this? Because I definitely could push buttons and not even know it, but not to this degree. But hola to you. An international flavor. But we'll get some content here and give you my reaction. You're tuning in to listen to my thoughts. And you know what? If it was meant to be on this Wednesday, I did an hour and a half with crunch time. You can always hit. You tell me, Anakin. I have no clue. This is funny. You know what? Maybe the travel gods are telling me maybe I should go to Germany. The travel gods are like, no. Don't be like that. We're going to take away your friends on the chat and take away the English. But I'll still shout you out. My man Anakin grinding in school. My man Nuga. And TM, listen, for the appreciation, drop some super chats, drop some likes. That's funny. It happens. That means I'll make tomorrow's show extra longer. But Nuga will tell you how to get the comments in with a couple extra letters. More work for you guys. But I want to get to first Brad Holmes' comments. We're going to talk about the prospects. But Brad Holmes was asked about the narrative of the Lions Super Bowl window by Rich Eisen. And he said, his point was, I don't believe in windows. We have young talent. He said we had some injuries, but his comments were very interesting. This is General Manager Brad Holmes, and he appears on the Rich Eisen show. And Rich Eisen asks him about the narrative that's out there that, you know what, after 2023 and you lost to the 49ers, your Super Bowl window is open. And Brad gave his answer, gave his insight. Here's what he said.
What do you say to the narrative that the Lions window is closing and that the ceiling was halftime of the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago?
I would push back on that just because even with the dilemma that we're facing now, is that we have a lot of young ascending players that are eligible for extensions. Even look back at this past season, I want to say we had 6 Pro Bowl players. We had 3 all-pro caliber players that weren't even available. That could have been more. So I think what we've done in the draft in terms of having these ascending young players, I do think that that's given us an opportunity to keep our window open. And then also our quarterback, that, he's in his prime, he's playing at a high level. So I think just those alone keeps that window open. But I understand I understand the situations. Like, yeah, you get that close to making it to the big game, and then you don't make it that close again. Okay, the easy narrative is, okay, it's closing because you missed your shot. That's not what we believe. We still believe that our window's open, and really the way we operate is we want to avoid windows.
Right. And, you know, Drew Petzing's now in here, right? You like.
So that's General Manager Brad Holmes. Are you saying, Phil, I got spammed? Is this something happening? I'm very intrigued. It's unique to have something go down like that. Smokey 62 Productions in the house. What's your reaction? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you have hope that the Lions window is very open, 26, 27, 28, they have a chance. 1, you're very skeptical. I'm at a 4, a 3 in regards to Super Bowl, and I discussed it on Crunch Time. My thinking is you have a good football team, but I don't sense the urgency, and I don't sense that you can plug all the holes that you have. Safety, maybe linebacker, the potential losing of Alex Anzalone. You need maybe defensive backs. The hole at offensive line, you might plug it with Tate Ratledge and not a veteran offensive lineman, because offensive linemen are tough to pull away from other teams. Linderbaum already got himself a massive contract in his inbox, probably from the Ravens. Massive contract. Scale of 1 to 10. Numbers are free. So my number is, what's my number? 3.5. That's my hope level. Numbers. Scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you that the Lions window is open? What's your reaction to what Brad Holmes said? It's interesting because in this draft, you're going to have to get maybe another top 3 class where you have impact. Window is not closed via Brent. Cue ball 2. Brent DeWitt's fair number 5. Keith Fountain in the house, 5. And if any of you Google for me if there is any fix that takes place, could you imagine if this is a long-term issue? Has my YouTube channel been hacked? Or is this a personal streamer problem, or is this temporary? This is the first time you feel like, man, I definitely am always loving the opportunity to talk to you guys. That's how much it means to me. But first and foremost, smash the like button. There's 150 people here on a Wednesday. Nuga brought it up to us. Hola. We are commenting in a foreign language. I don't know. It's funny to me. What are your numbers? What's your and what gives you confidence that the Super Bowl window is open? I'm not saying that they can't do it. What I'm saying is that the sense of urgency, the potential lack of ability to make big splashes, even though Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell kind of opened the door that they might make a splash. I'm going to write about that tomorrow. But first and foremost, as always, today, I invite you to check out the links. Visit si.com for all your Detroit Lions needs, videos, insider analysis. Got you a lot of content from the Combine today at Detroit Podcast. I think if you followed us, you got a sense of exactly what was going on as it was happening at the Combine. I'm very proud of me, and I'm proud of Emma and I's work. We're in the mix. That's all you can ask for. If you're also interested in stories, Booner, Hefe, Lucas, Doc, we tore up the town yesterday. Story time with Doc at Crunch Time. And there were laughs, there were jokes, and it was a good time. Austin, no bueno. I like it. Johnny Cage is still full 10. Why? You feel like the young core on offense is going to continue to rise. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take over. You have now Isaac Tesla. The offense should carry you, but the defense might have holes. Can you fill safety, linebacker, defensive line in one offseason? Critical. The problem is I'm not seeing the hope that you can. Is it fixed? See a lot of Spanish in the chat, but I only speak German. Or you guys could just be messing with me. That's fun too. What? I would expect a little higher from Mr. Mahdi. 4. I think I'll give you a bonus 2 and give you a 6. I love it. I love it. You're honest. I just think one more year, Mr. Mahdi, one more year. Ahmed with another year of development. He'll go into year 3. This year is a big year for him. You get your most experience from a big jump from, 1 year playing to the next. That'll be great for him and the team. But Mr. Mahdi overseas gives it a 4. Hey, there we go. Riley, I think you appreciate and loving the work. Maybe the YouTube guys are spamming you guys. I appreciate you, Riley. That means a lot. I've been saying one more year for the last 50 from Keith Fountain. So those of you that just hopped in, smash the like button. Super chats are open. We just played the Brad Holmes comments on the Rich Eisen show. And he said, I don't believe in windows. See, the problem is I believe in windows. Meaning that there are times when your football team is ripe to win it all. And I felt 23 was ripe and 24. Keith is like, one more year. What would give you, and I asked crunch time, I said, I might be on the negative side, but sell me on the Lions. I said, should they be aggressive? And they said, medium aggressive by not calling it signing high-end players, but maybe a couple more mid-tier, $10 million a year kind of guys, as opposed to 30. Maybe they do. Maybe they make a couple calculated signings. I just hope they don't go $10 million for Al-Qadim Muhammad and try to sell everybody that that's a splash. I'm talking proven, name recognition, not also name recognition, but production recognition, that that you're going to plug them into the lineup and they're going to ball. 1 to 10, I'm at a 4. I'm at the same number, 3.5, 4 as Mr. Hassani Mahdi, 540. Inshallah, everything's good. Hope everybody's doing well. Now, Dan Campbell also spoke about some urgency. I'm curious what your reaction to his comments. He talked about the sense of disappointment that took place from a season in which you win 9 games up and down. And he expressed he was frustrated. Rich Baldwin's confidence, 3. Here's Dan Campbell's comments. He discusses that, there's a sense of urgency. There's, again, the need for competition. There's a fact that, depth versus starter, but they're going to take a look at that roster and the players that they need to add. Seriously, they got to just real here, just trying to pull this up. It looks like Pro Football Focus just got sold. They just got sold. Their future on NBC is unclear. That's really interesting. Dan Campbell clip is a little shorter. You know, you look at Dan Campbell and the work that he's done, you know, he looks comfortable, but there's work that needs to be done in regards to everything. And we'll get back to your comments on Brad Holmes, but here's Dan Campbell, what he said today. On Sirius XM.
Because here we go. I'm going on year 6, and
darn it,
I know. And but you think about, man, all that you've gone through and what you've built and where you're trying to go, and knowing that you've fallen short, you know. And then look, last year was frustrating, man. That was and it's nobody's fault but our own, and that starts with me. You know, and it makes you go back. It's one thing to have lip service, you know, about, man, not being complacent or entitled or all these things, and you say it, but then you turn around and go, you know what, did we really live that? Did I live that? Did we? And it doesn't mean anything happened on purpose. It's just sometimes, man, competition is good for everybody.
Yep.
Competition is good, and bringing in guys that make other guys feel uncomfortable is great for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it was good for me as a player. It's good for any player on the roster, no matter how good you are. You need somebody to push you. And I think that's some of the things Brad and I talk about. We got to get back to that.
Yeah.
We got to build this depth back up. And even if it's depth starter, they're just hovering around each other. That elevates the floor of your team and makes your whole team better.
So wait a minute. Just real fast, watching that again. Wait a stinking minute. Did Dan Campbell inadvertently kind of mention that some of the players on the roster got fat and sassy and happy? There was competition. There was competition at a lot of spots. It means you got to upgrade your roster. What's your reaction to Dan Campbell's comments? Dan Campbell's like, we have to get, so that means, you know, who needs to be made uncomfortable? Aiden? Hopefully, inshallah, Ahmed Hassani makes him uncomfortable. I think it means cornerback. I think it means maybe a guard, maybe another linebacker, maybe someone better than Jack Campbell. Does it mean quarterback? Are they trying to push Goff? And to Rich, yeah, Chris Collinsworth is one of the owners, so he probably got very, very, very happy today. What do you think? What do you think it means, Keith? What did Dan Campbell? That's really interesting to kind of raise your attention. We need Dan and Brad sit and say we need to make people uncomfortable. Who needs to be uncomfortable? Sewell's good. I think that would be the left tackle spot. You got to make Taylor Decker uncomfortable. He's going to be retired. I think it means you make Jahmyr Gibbs uncomfortable. You let David Montgomery go. Rich Baldwin says the Lions as an organization got full of themselves, in my opinion. Roll call. Where's everybody listening in from? I am live in Indianapolis, right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium, a half a mile away from the convention center, in the perfect hotel. I'm a $4 Uber ride away from the fellas. And let me say publicly, I appreciate the invite that they wanted to hang out. They wanted to hang out with the Unk. Dude, they went longer than I did. I tapped out at midnight. That was it. They went just a little longer. They're young guys. The Crunch Time crew is cool. Ownership from Nuga? Grand Trap. It's a nice town. Good sports radio, good family values. Detroit fan man is 6, maybe a 7 in regards to his confidence. The overriding theme is, what's your confidence level in the Super Bowl window? Is it closed? 1, or hey, get back on the hope train, hopium high at 10. Nick P gets it. Brad said no windows again means no progression. Exactly. That's what I said on Crunch Time is my biggest concern is there's a certain level of this team could become the Steelers and Bills. Get to the postseason, 10 wins, but never throttle it to the gear where you get to some expectations. Where's everybody listening in from? Nick P is in the greatest state of the 50, New Simra Beach, Florida. Dak. Keith Fountains and Adrian. IPE Club, number 3. Just a quick side note, 2 seconds. Did y'all, because I saw it. My wife sent it, and I was excited for a whole 2.2 seconds. Did y'all see the ticket prices for the Sphere for Metallica? $1,000 a ticket. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see the ticket prices for the Sphere 8 run? Oh, I joked with my wife. I said, we I had the same problem, Steve, yesterday too, my man. Shout out to you. The problem I had yesterday was it said my own YouTube stream, it recognized my comment as spam and took it out. Type it again. I'll see it. Maybe put a caps in the first letter. My own comment in my own stream, it said we're going to delete it and cause spam. YouTube is under attack. Ford family has always tolerated complacency. That's what I'm saying. But I asked Brad Holmes that. $1,000 to see Metallica. Man, wouldn't that be cool at the Sphere? Right? I saw Neil Young at Cobo for $13. Listen, if one of you decided to spam our comments, hey, it happens. But the blessing is people like Xavier are still in the house. Steve-O, baby. Still in the house. TM, always doing their thing. My guy, Nick P, Keith Fountain. Oh, no. Has the Lions, Lone Wolves podcast been taken over from the cartels? What would you guys do if I was in Mexico and I'm at Puerto Vallarta and I come on a stream and be like, help? Would you go to the embassy and write a letter on my behalf? Please I just want to know that you'd write a letter on my behalf that I'm a good, solid American dude who roots for the Americans, who put a nice comment under the radio station locally that was not talking nicely about the American victory and said, wait a minute, America, F yeah, we're proud of the Americans. Phil C would let me sit in Puerto Vallarta all by myself. All by myself. Fine, Phil. The cartels will not shut down this podcast. All right, that was good. So the first half of the show, we just talked about some comments from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. Now, this is the main theme of the day. Another 15 minutes or so. The fellas invited me out one last night before I get out of here. Oh, yeah, we document it, right? Day 1, Doc stuck in Mexico. What does he do? Doc is dancing on the table with some tequila. Doc just got drunk. Doc is doing the salsa with every lady in the place. Right. Yes, that's all I can ask for. Free Doc movement on X. Every stream. You know it. We are live internationally. I would find a way to stream at 7 p.m. local time, eating tacos. Might have to reside there. That's why I don't go overseas. See, that's why. Mr. Mahdi, give your vote. Ahmed's going to Germany next year, inshallah. Should I said I'm a little nervous. I don't like to fly. Should I go to Germany? Expensive. Some pictures would get out. Mr. Mahdi, should I make it to Germany? Every media is going, but it's expensive. Long flight. Trust me, the cartels would send me back. But here's the gist of the day. Here's the highlight of the day. These prospects met with the Lions. And so what I did was, and we'll do it regularly, if you don't know, we call it a tracker. Tracker. You know what tracker means? Tracker means that we at Detroit Lions on SI will document who we know has met with the Lions. You love it. I love it. I don't care if the media says we hate the question. We will ask prospects, did you meet with the Lions? Because you want to know. You are not going to believe this, Nick. You are not going to believe this. But this is what I'm going to tell. We were hanging out. This story is true. We were hanging out, and I found out Booner's type. We were sitting down, having a good time, having some cocktail, talking football, talking Lions, talking. We saw Mike Disner having a good time. We saw ESPN reporters. Booner sees a 6'3", 350-pound dude and ran to him like a big fan. And I don't know if he was in love, but he didn't do that for no ladies that walked by. He ran, dabbed up the guy. They were talking like paisanos. I thought they were. I don't know what was going on. I was shocked. Make sure we share that. No, the truth, the truth was, no, okay, I can't do my guy like that. But I am 2% suspect about Booner. He's a genuine guy. We met Big Dom, the Eagles bodyguard, and we all had fun with it. He was all in his glory. Big Dom was cool. He had some aura. We saw Drew Petzing. We saw Mike Disner. We saw the Jets' new defensive coordinator. So we had a good time. Like I said, you can recap, let Crunch Time have it. I gave them the stories, and it was funny. It was a good show. But maybe at the end, in the last 5 minutes, we can predict what's going to happen tonight. But I think if Booner is into that, he likes 6'4", 350. He likes to be the teddy bear. Yeah. Big D and Booner. Go Germany, please. I'll meet you there. Maybe. We'll see. Mr. Mahdi, it'll be a fun trip. You going to go? Oh, man. Thank you, Mishanuga. That means a lot. Thanks for the coverage from Indy. What do you guys like about the coverage? You're seeing the videos. You're seeing the highlights, the daily podcast live, note taped. You're just getting the inside information. Let me set the tone from today. So bright and early. And there was some hijinks too. Everybody, let me start with the negative. Everybody was waiting on the defensive ends at 11 o'clock, right? The day started at 8 a.m. We're all drinking coffee. We're all tired. We're all writing 1,000 stories, doing podcasts, doing the media thing, staying up late. And Akeem Mesidor is supposed to be there at 11. The defensive ends are supposed to start at 11. They didn't damn near start till 11:45. No updates. They were just standing there after interviewing a bunch of defensive tackles and a bunch of linebackers, the diva defensive ends. And listen, I'm kidding around, but we have no clue why they weren't there. They're supposed to be 11, 11:15, 11:30, 11:45. So I only got through like the first wave, and I needed to type. So Emmett did the rest. My God. I don't know if it's medicals, interviews. Everybody and their mom wants to talk to a defensive end, but those defensive ends didn't talk to the media in a timely manner. But we started day 8 a.m. with linebackers, Sonny Styles, Jacob Rodriguez, linebackers. Then it was defensive tackles, and then the day ended with defensive ends. One defensive end showed up at like 3:30, 3 hours after the last wave of prospects. I don't know, flights got delayed, issues. Indy updates are great. Thanks, Doc. I presume you're looking at Detroit Podcast. You're seeing up to the minute videos, text, who's there, who's not, video, my questions to Zion Young, to the prospects. And you can continue to follow it at Detroit Podcast, but I'll be highlighting Emmett as he stays, and he's going to be the boots on the ground. So you'll get that coverage from at Detroit Podcast. I'll highlight my guys' work, and you'll get the same level of written work, videos, all you need. What do you like, Nick, about Barham? Very interesting, right? So that's the process, is you get there 8 o'clock. Each media session's 15 minutes. Today, and here's where some media get mad, a lot of the questions are the same one. A lot of the questions are, hey, Sonny Styles, did you meet formally or informally with the Lions? Because there is a number. You get 45 visits. So we have a list of some informal, and it's up there. And we have a list of formal. So we are able to categorize for you, and it's relevant information. Zion Young met with the Lions. That's really intriguing. So let's start with the list, and then you can react to this list. And again, you can follow it live, refresh it, bookmark it. This is my daily effort to share Detroit Lions on SI. Thank you for the valuable click. It means a lot. This is the opportunity to see Detroit Lions on SI. Written work, good photos, HD. 2026 Combine Meeting Tracker. Every player the Lions spoke with. See, you get all the relevant ads, good high-quality pictures, video analysis. Which ad pops up today? Oh, look at that. Who's that friendly face? From this very room. See? That's how you support the cause. You can scroll down, if you want to read some of the commentary, but here's the list. Let's blow it up. Now, the ones that I leave blank, I do not know if the visit was informal or formal. If I know, I share. Is that fair, guys? If I know, I share. Here's a list. Cincinnati linebacker, Alabama. UCLA defensive tackle Gary Smith, Florida Tyreek Sapp. Anthony Hill is very impressive from Texas. I think he's a name to watch, in my opinion, professionally. Anthony Hill. Zion Young, formal. Auburn's defensive lineman. Texas A&M. Michigan linebacker Jay-Sean Barham. The Lions talked to him about the position, maybe playing Sam. Derek Moore. T.J. Parker. The biggest name that we know that's formal, Akeem Mesidor. Huge. Kyle Lewis, informal. Red Murdoch, informal. VJ Anthony. One little typo. I got to put the dashes in. You know why? Because I had JV Anthony in my first edition. I had to make a quick edit. Minnesota's defensive tackle, NC State, Kentucky, Florida, George Gums. Pay attention to him. Marvin Johnson, Danny, Dennis, Sutton, and Aiden Hubbard. And this list will refresh tomorrow. Bookmark it. Look, tracker. Bookmark the tracker and save it. Visit it regularly. You'll have your list, or go to @Detroit Podcast and you'll have your information if you're on your phone. You know, your friendly neighborhood podcaster, homie, writer, influencer. All the labels. I want all the labels. Writer, podcaster, journalist, alarmist, beat writer, all of them. A lot of you are rooting Pistons OKC. Man, that'd be a fun game to watch. Did it start yet? Checking in with Hassanin, my guy. For sure, I will go to Germany. I have 2 cousins, German original. My uncle married a German woman. I have 2 cousins, and I have 2 nephews in Germany, in Munich, too. All right. Gumby, did you happen to notice that there was some MSU-specific content on our Twitter page today? I asked Zion Young about being at State. I asked the punter. Let me do a quick check on Keldrick Falk. Now, the big names of defensive ends, by that point, I went back up to the media room and started typing because it was an hour wait. So I will look if that was done. But I have to believe that there's interest. I have to believe that Keldrick Falk is somebody that's interesting. Not somebody that I saw or maybe Emmett saw. But let's see here. I think another reporter put Keldrick Falk in a headline. So let's see. I don't think anybody asked him specifically. We don't know officially. But here's what he said about, this is courtesy of the Detroit News, what he said to reporters about getting better. Mastering the skills that I already have. I'm a power rusher, truly in and out. I feel like whenever I step up on the field, I'm going to have some type of finesse to me as far as speed rushes, but I do feel like I have to master that power in order for me to elevate my game. A lot of people think he's a candidate, but we don't know officially if he's met with the Lions. But first and foremost, let's set the scene. The Lions do have Ahmed Hassanin, who I think is going to get a lot of opportunity. For sure, he's working, grinding. Did some great work in his hometown, back in Detroit, and from what I'm hearing, crushing his training. Great news to hear. Now he needs competition too. That makes him better. The defensive end room, I think, is going to be violent. Ahmed Hassanin, Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe you get a vet in Al-Quddin Muhammad. Now, my other takeaway, just real fast on that, I think R. Mason Thomas took himself out of the running for the Lions. If I'm accurate, there was a prospect, I believe it was him, on video. He said, I'm 250. I'm not a power guy. I have power, but I'm a speed guy. I need 2-3 steps, and then I'll generate the same power based on physics as compared to somebody who's 6'6", 260, 270. I feel like people took that comment and had different reactions to it. Emmett and I took it as, well, he doesn't maybe want to bulk up, and he's telling teams, I am this. Take it or leave it. So I looked at that. I was like, oh, Okay. MC3, who dat? Kyle Lewis, I think, would be great for us. Facts. Get Bosa on the cheap. He'll play 8 or 9 games in rotation via Xavier. Xavier wants to go free agency. Put it out there. Inshallah, I will see Ahmed playing. Inshallah, I'll put that out there. For our guy, Hassanin. Let him see his son play in Germany. But if not, you'll have some drinks. That's plan B. Eric Taylor, Derek Moore with Hutch, Wolverine power. The original, yeah, Lions need a bigger guy. Yeah, he did. TJ Parker seems a lot nicer than what the media made him out to be. He had a good media session. Here are the names of the linebackers. Let's go with the first set of linebackers that I think impressed. I think a lot of people are impressed with Anthony Hill. At 6'3", 238 pounds. He's a projected day 2 guy. And guess what? Quote, really good interview with the Lions. All the prospects that talked to about the Lions said they have good energy, asked the right questions. They all noticed Dan Campbell's energy. And one of the prospects told me directly, and you can see it on X, Dan Campbell is all about business. So it's an interview, and he treats it as such. I think a lot of people like Jacob Rodriguez. I just think at 6'1", 235 pounds, used to be a quarterback, projected round 2 or 3. He's got the stash. Could you imagine that stash in the Detroit Lions locker room? Him and Sam Laporta. I like Jacob Rodriguez. I like C.J. Allen. And I like Barham. I think Barham could do a good job. Those are the linebackers that caught my attention today. A couple edge rushers caught my attention. Obviously, Gabe Jackas, 6'3", 260 pounds. Listen, power. I think a lot of people think that he's got the potential to be a contributor. And a lot of people like George Gooms Jr., 6'4", 250. He started as a receiver at Northern Illinois. He could be a later round pick to pay attention to. And then the name that people kind of walked away with was just because of his size, Keldrick Falk. 6'6", 285. And guess what he said? He learned his talks almost maybe from the Lions. Here's what he said. At Auburn, we pride ourselves on stopping the run. Since my freshman year, we always say we have to earn the right to rush the passer, which is something the Lions say. That right came first and second down. We really had to pride ourselves in stopping the run, staying low, getting our hands right, and exploding out of our hips. Now, he didn't have a lot of productivity, and he was asked about it. He said he's got to continue to work, and he said a lot of my production came from the 5 tech. I still have a little bit of production down at the 3 tech and 2i, but most of my production came from the 5 tech. Similar things he said in other pre-draft visits. Who do you like? And tomorrow, Christian will do a little bit more on the defensive end. MC3, who dat? Just a quick side nugget on that. First and foremost, smash the like button for the doc. 200 people in here on 2 platforms. Brett Holmes kind of made it feel like Levi's going to have a chance to compete, but maybe Josh won't. TJ Parker's the other defensive end from Clemson. Steve Wilds, not another slow-ass edge. I know, right? Power, size. 4.5 hours from Detroit to Indy. Bobby Stark, Jeremio. Guess what? It's already done in the can. Live already. We already did it. So today we are going to celebrate. After this, going to hop in the shower, grab a bite to eat, and we're going back to partying. Party time. That's the name of the game. And then tomorrow morning, first thing, wake up, breakfast, hitting the road. I'm going home. See the kids. Tell the world I'm going home. But Emmett's going to do the work. He'll bring you the best coverage possible, and we'll share it at Detroit Podcast. That Emmett is crazy. All Barhams are linebackers. Steve Wilds loves Jackus. I'd love Jackus with Ahmed and Aiden. What would you ask Dan Campbell in an interview? How about a kicker? Maybe you bring in a free agent. We'll talk about that in free agency talks. My picks for 17 are Monroe Freeling or the 2 best edges available, Falk or the guy from Clemson, TJ Parker. Good stuff, guys. Very good commentary. I appreciate everybody's love. Get your last super chats in. One more super chat has hit the podcast. Party time. Excellent. $1.99. 2 super chats from Nuga. Appreciate you. Tag him. Hop on over, tag McAfee, and say, invite this guy. Oh, I'm getting the invite. Wait, Booner. Am I the big guy you're wanting to visit with again? Don't watch this show, Booner. I'm on my way. Are you guys there? You haven't given the notice. I'm charging my phone so I can get the Uber back. But it is 7:58. I'm giving the people until 8 o'clock. The full hour experience. Booner, are you guys there? Give me the plan. Let's go. Bourbons are ready. You guys know what Doc's doing. Hanging with the fellas. Getting some meatballs, some old fashions. And then we're having a good night. What happens in Indy gets broadcast on the Lone Wolves podcast. I'm honest with Booner. I told a lot of lies about you, Booner, but they were funny. In the name of content, they were funny. This show loved it. Booner eventually. Oh yeah. Problem is, I don't want to sleep at the table. There's a lot of power brokers there. There was Jordan Schultz. Oh, let's give you a quick, because we can go over. Give you a quick. Jordan Schultz was there. There was a lot of influencers there. There were a lot of influential people. We saw the Washington Commanders coach. We saw a lot of people walking through that place. Yep. What is Nick talking about? Great moments in Lone Wolves podcast history is Doc's storytelling. Smash the emojis before I get out of here. Yeah, it's a good vibe down at the Indy hotel scene in the upper echelon district of Indy is where the Doc, Booner, Hefe, Lucas, we tear it up. We have a good time. Yeah, Washington coach, Lions people, NFL insiders. All right, if Dan Campbell's there tonight, I'm going to plop a seat next to him and say, couple drinks. Got to come on a stream. No, they're not. I will say they are not lightweights. They had the waitress right by us. Steve, you'll be with us in spirit. We'll toast to the great listeners and supporters of streams and podcasters. And just to let you know, I got to share it. Thanks to you guys, you did it. And here's what I mean by it. You did it. It's the biggest validating tweet that I'm going to share probably ever. And I didn't even read the story, but eventually I will. But you guys can read the accuracy of the story. Oh, man, going on X is all bad news. Looks like Tony Dungy got the axe at NBC. Man, how are you going to do Tony Dungy like that? Let the man go out on his own. Man, Tony Dungy likely out at NBC. How are you going to do the man like that, dirty? That's wrong. But I will always highlight the success. For the first time ever, this happened. Heck no. We'll do a challenge. We'll go 1 for 1, baby. 1 for 1. Say, what? You don't understand the DOC. Gritty, competitive. But let's share this. For the first time ever, according to Awful Announcing, was posted at noon. Podcasts have surpassed talk radio in listenership for the very first time. I am a very, 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 very tiny piece of that equation, doing a local Detroit podcast and a YouTube stream. But I knew back in 2013, podcast would be special. It's a little win in the grand scheme of things. It's intimate. It's fun. It's the way you build a relationship with your audience. It's a great way to share content. And it's very, very, very much something I'm thankful for that I got into. That's right. You ever tried to outdrink a Lebanese? Steve knows. MSU grads have high tolerance and muscle memory. That's right. Podcast for the first time, more listeners than radio. Thank you, Mr. Mahdi. No, just 2. They're expensive. Man, Hassanin, you probably understand. Back in the day, in American dollars, an old-fashioned with whiskey was $8. $8 whole dollars. Now they're $17. If I drink 4 or 5, that's $100 in booze. No. I will get home safe. You will see me from my home tomorrow. I promise. Inshallah. I will get back home safe. Plus, Booner will take care of me. Jeff will take care of me. Lucas will take care of me. Smash the like button. I am the Doc. I represent the Detroit Sports Podcast, which I founded with Adam Strozinski back in 2013. And this is made possible thanks to Detroit Lions on SI and also to you fine citizens. The fine viewers that like the stream are here every day. That likes the Mishanugas, the Hassanin Mahdis, the Xavier, the legend. The reason we all do this. Steve Wilds, Gumby, One Repub. TM in the house. Really? They can Dungy. I know. Likely so far is what they're saying. It's not official yet. Run the like button up to get to 50, 60 likes. There's a funny story on the clock that I told on Crunch Time today. It was funny. Nuga knows you're always on the clock when you work in the NFL. Nuga, you're tapped in, you know. TM Martin Esquire in the house. Nick P, legend. Steve Wilds, always in the house. Gumby, Keith Fountain. All the people that I've mentioned or not mentioned, thank you for checking in. My guy, Brent DeWitt. My guy, Riley, Anakin. All the regulars. You know eventually I will get to shout you out. I appreciate it. Thanks for running up the likes. And for supporting a stream. It makes it fun. And Heffy said it. There's only a handful of people that are doing it every day. I'm in the mix now, trying to do it daily. There's Woodward, 97.1, Crunch Time, and the Doc every day. And for that, I'm grateful. I want to keep doing it. But like I said, maybe next week it'll be more of a little tape variety before free agency. And then it's balls to the wall, man, free agency. There probably will be a stream where I'm talking and I'm like, all right, guys, they signed a free agent. Peace. So get ready for that. The Doc is in travel mode tomorrow, but guess what? It's party time. What do you want to read about? You know me. I drink and tell. You want to know about Hefe? What do you want to know about? Because Doc drinks and tells. What's wrong with that? In the comments, what do you want to know about? I am the Doc. I'm headed out for a good time. Thank you guys for tuning into the Wednesday edition of the Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast. It's been a fun time and a real time. We'll talk tomorrow.